So this was posted at 6:30 a.m. on June 27th. So it was today. And this is a mini director's letter. Now, we did already have the trailer for Title Update 2 come out yesterday. We got the information about it. We also got patch notes about a bunch of weapon changes and quality of life and all of that stuff. However, we also did get a director's letter from Tokura-san going over some extra stuff that was not in there. So we're going to read all of it. We're going to explain what some of it means. And then we're going to have a little bit of a chit chat. Hello, hunters. This is Yuya Tokura, director of Monster Hunter Wilds. Thank you to everyone who watched the Capcom Spotlight for news on Free Title Update 2. Here are the major additions. So they're going over the major additions. We don't need to re-go over that. In this director's letter, I would like to introduce some of the details that we were not able to share with you in the Capcom Spotlight program. This includes improvements and adjustments featured in Free Title Update 2, as well as further updates still to come. So this is major improvements and adjustments. Thank you for very much sending us your feedback and requests via the survey form. In particular, we would like to thank you for your feedback on 4 key areas: usability, UI UX improvements, weapon balance adjustments, improved game stability, and challenging hunts and further gear to chase. We are aware of these core feedback areas and we are working to improve to adjust them. I'm reading some of these words wrong, but you get the idea. In Free Title Update 2, the main improvements and adjustments to 1 and 3, which is UI and stability, are planned to include the contents of the attached image. Please note that Please note that this only includes a small amount of the improvements coming in Free Title Update 2. For more details and other details, please visit the website to read the full patch notes, which we did read yesterday on stream, but let's take a look at what they're doing. So, improved Sacred usability. Honestly, a lot of this is in the patch notes that we looked at yesterday, but we'll take a little look through it. Both the speed that your Sacred runs to you when you call it and the response speed for controlling your Sacred will be increased. Improved map usability. Remove the skip function from important chat notifications and made it so that the map can now be opened even while the notifications are still active. That's huge because listen, I don't mind the notifications personally. When you're telling me that a monster has shown up and I'm, giving me that information, maybe I want to hunt them. That's fine. It's just the fact that you're like, "Oh, come on. Hurry up. Go away. I want to open the map." So this is great. Adjusted the map so that it no longer automatically switches levels when focusing on a large monster. Improved skill information visibility. The ability to display skill information with one button press on various screens will also be added. The ability to restock/claim items. The ammo pouch is now automatically restocked when activating an item loadout. Added a take all feature to Nata's material retrieval facility. Added a remove all decorations function to the edit decorations submenu. Added item boxes outside of the hunter's tent in each base camp and the grand hub. And added an outdoor item box as a camp gear option that can be set up in pop-up camps. Weapon balance adjustments. Now, all of these details are in the patch notes and they are pretty extensive. Hammer, switch axe, dual blades, and charge blade had a lot of changes. They don't mention switch axe here, but switch axe also had quite a lot of changes that are going to change the way that works. And it all looks fantastic to me. They're also making further adjustments in version 1.021, which is in early August, for dual blades, hunting horn, lance, yes, heavy bowgun, and light bowgun. Nice. Improved game stability. DLSS 4 and FSR 4 is now supported for graphics upscaling. That's nice. Adjusted the amount of VRAM used with texture streaming. Can you go away? It's fine. I can read around it. Adjusted the amount of VRAM used with texture streaming, resulting in reduced overall VRAM usage. Fixed an issue where the estimated VRAM usage in the display graphic settings was calculated lower than the actual value. Fixed the issue of increased CPU load due to shader compilation occurring during gameplay, resulting in unstable performance until compilation is complete. This should be, honestly, this is probably one of the bigger things. I can't highlight it. This is probably one of the bigger things because the issue was every time there was an update, it wouldn't automatically redo your shaders. You had to go into the files, delete the shader cache to then force the game to redo your shaders. So what was happening, instead of the game doing that right at the beginning, it was just doing it as you were playing the game, which you do not want that. You do not want that. It's very bad. So this is going to be a big thing, and I think this is going to help a lot of people, especially those who just don't know that they should be deleting their shader cache, because they shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to go into the game files to make the game run well. So all of that looks good. Now we're going to get to the exciting part. Future update plans. So far, we have discussed what we will be addressing in the second free title update. However, we feel there are still many points of feedback and requests to address. In particular, expanding endgame content is a focus area for us in future updates. Here's a look at how we plan to expand the endgame content. Free title update, which is hitting at the end of September. This will be our third one. In Free Title Update 3, a new level of quest difficulty will be added, which will feature their own unique rewards. Hunters can use these rewards for a new talisman crafting system, which can be assigned various skills at random. The new talismans can be assigned a wide variety of skills, including those exclusive to weapons and armor. And we will also be randomly assigned slots for decorations as well. We believe this system will broaden the range of builds and create a gameplay loop that encourages players to equip themselves to take on the game's toughest challenges. Now, we're going to head over to Eric's. Eric, shout out to Eric's Gaming. You all know him. You all love him. This is basically bringing the system that was in Rise to Wild. So we'll not only have the system that was in World with decorations and farming decorations for random decos, we will also have the talisman grind from Monster Hunter Rise. So the way that this worked is you were able to basically gamba. You would go to the melder, you would meld a certain amount of talismans, you would go out on a hunt, you'd come back and you'd have a bunch of talismans to crack open and hope that you got lucky with the talisman that you want. So just to kind of give you an idea of what a similar system may look like. So in Rise, yeah, the way that it worked, you would go to the melder, you would meld a bunch of talismans, you'd go hunt, you'd come back, and then you could open them and pray that you got what you wanted. They're doing it obviously different in Wilds, because the way that they're talking about it is that they're adding a higher difficulty of monster for you to hunt that will then give you this stuff. So I personally didn't mind RNG talismans. I didn't mind it at all. It gave me a reason to want to keep playing and keep doing stuff, which personally I don't mind. I don't mind RNG. I know a lot of people don't like RNG stuff, but I have never been a hater of RNG. Most of the time, I actually quite like RNG. I understand it's frustrating to not get the thing that you want for hours and hours and hours, but I've never been like a hater of RNG. But this system that's coming to Wild sounds like it's going to be a lot more interactive and it's going to be more enjoyable than the one that was in Rise, because this one was literally just going to the melder and just being like boop 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 boop, going and doing something, coming back, opening it up, and hoping that you get what you want. Whereas in the description here, it sounds like they're adding a whole new end game system for you to interact with. Not just a menu that you interact with, but a whole thing. Because they said that they're adding a new level of quest difficulty. And then that is the only place that you're going to be getting these new talismans and interacting with that system. Now, it doesn't mean that they won't add some kind of RNG talisman thing later, but at least initially, you will be able to get talismans exclusively from this unique quest difficulty system that they're doing. And not only that, but they are going to have decoration slots, which is exciting. And they have skills that are exclusive to weapons and armor. So Dimitri was bringing up Slick Blade. I really like the idea of Slick Blade, but I don't love having to use all of Mizu's stuff and all of Mizu's weapon and armor. Like, especially for bow, it's just not great. But if I could have a talisman that gives me something like Slick Blade, I could make a pretty interesting build without having to use the Mizutsune bow, potentially, which would be fun. So if you didn't play Rise, this is what it looks like. These are your talismans. I mean, you have talismans in Wild, so you know what they do, but this is a good look at, like, as you can see, they do have deco slots on them. So that is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be hunting a higher quest difficulty monsters for exclusive talismans that are going to be going to maybe change the builds that you make. Personally, I'm looking forward to it. I understand not everyone likes RNG, but personally, I'm okay with that. Personally, I'm okay with it. Let's keep reading. Of course, they are going to talk to us more about Free Title Update 3. Capcom listens to a lot of feedback. You could say that the reason we are in the place that we are right now is because they listen to too much feedback from people that maybe are not Monster Hunter fans necessarily, but wanted to play Monster Hunter. They listen to feedback a lot. So keep giving them feedback about what you want. Keep telling them that you want more optional quests, that you want more stuff to head out into the world and capture or do and to get extra things in the game. Keep letting them know. So that's Title Update 3. Next, they're diving into Free Title Update 4, which is coming this winter. This update will include a new monster as well as more challenging elements. We are considering ways to ensure that the Artian weapons you have already forged will remain valuable. So we hope you will continue to forge and strengthen your Artian weapons while waiting for more info on Free Title Update 4 in the future. Now, this doesn't really tell us what they're planning. It just says that they're wanting to, like, if you've made a god roll Artian weapon, they want to make sure that you can keep feeding into that weapon to take it with you to further things. Now, out of all of the systems, RNG decos, RNG talismans, I think Artian weapons are my least favorite of all of those systems. I don't love Artian weapons. I don't love them because, for me, I really like the idea of hunting a monster and using their parts to then make a build with. And Artian weapons are like very separate from that, you know? They're like an ancient civilization thing. And I think the lore behind it is really cool, but I much prefer whipping out a Mizu bow and a Kezu bow, and maybe I really want to use that bow because I really like that monster, and I want to use that bow because I like the monster. I just said the same thing twice, but you know what I mean. I want to beat the monsters with another monster's corpse. Yes, that's kind of what it boils down to. I just think the player fantasy of being a person who hunts monsters is enhanced by using monsters' weapons. Now, we are going to have layered weapons, so maybe this is a non-issue, but just Artian weapons, I'm not super crazy about them. But I understand that it's a system that they have built for Wilds, and they obviously want to keep that system relevant and not just drop it. So I do get it. We are also working on various improvements and adjustments, including improving usability and game stability. We will continue to work on these through updates. Title updates, excluding bug fixes, and other updates will be implemented every few months, as with the first and second updates. Thank you for your patience. So here is a look at the future planned updates. You get a little handy graph. I would prefer an Artian weapon system where I am improving the monster's weapon. So I'm using, it doesn't have to even be called Artian. It could be a totally different thing, but I'm using monsters' parts to make the weapon that I'm using stronger. So I'm going and hunting that specific weapon to get the specific parts to then upgrade this specific weapon. I think that is more interactive. The Artian system, I think, fits in with what they've been doing with Wilds, where it's like you go and hunt whatever you want. You can turn any monster parts into Artian parts, and then you can use those to gambit on your Artian weapons. Whereas I would much prefer like a more focused grind, where I want to upgrade the Arkveld bow. I have to go and hunt Arkveld and maybe other Guardian monsters to upgrade the Arkveld bow. That gives me a more focused thing. It's like, I gotta go farm these things. And I just like that. I like targeting things. I like looking at my book and going, I need to go do this, this, and this from this monster and do that when I'm fighting this monster to get the thing. I like doing all of that. It just makes the game feel more interactive than go do whatever you want to get whatever you want. And I understand that maybe that sounds weird because you're forcing people to then hunt a specific monster, but let's be honest, people are already doing that. People are already doing that because certain monsters, their parts are worth more points for Artian parts. So, yeah, anyway. Early August, we're having more adjustments to these weapons. End of September is Title Update 3. I am actually really looking forward to the talisman system. I am really looking forward to that. And then Title Update 4, obviously we don't know much about because it's so far away, but additional monster and more challenging hunts. I do have something else to say about the challenging hunts thing. I am a little concerned that they're going to push it too far and we're going to end up getting monsters that are like super relentless and they have a bunch of attacks that one-shot you. Because I don't think that that is a fun difficulty to just go, I'm playing really perfectly, and then there's like 5 moves that can one-shot me. I get hit by one of them and I'm dead. I don't love that kind of difficulty. So we'll see where they end up going with it, but I just hope they don't swing too much in the other direction with people saying it is too easy. And it was, and we did need monsters to live for longer. We really needed that. Like the first time I experienced Lala Barina, I don't even know what she did. She was dead in like 2 minutes. I just needed them to live longer more than anything so that I could see more of their moveset, and I needed them to do a little bit more damage. So I just hope we don't swing in the other direction. So that is it for the developer diary director's letter part, but there are more things. So they are doing this thing called guild reports, which we'll take a look at some of the guild reports that are already on Twitter. But it says that they're going to be putting guild reports on the Monster Hunter Twitter, and these are going to be responses to feedback requests and how they plan to address them. So if they're seeing a bunch of feedback, they can then use this new guild report and go, okay, we see it. Here's our plan for it. So I appreciate that. Let's take a look at some of these guild reports. Guild reports. All right. Now, of course, very important to note that content in here is under development. They're trying to be really open with us and go have a back and forth of, we see what you're saying, here's our plan. Okay, we see what you're saying, here's our plan. So just keep that in mind. Hunters, the team is continuing to work on improving optimization. So the request is to optimize the performance, and these are the performance updates that they're doing. We have gone over a lot of these, so I'm not going to read all of it. Just to give you an idea of what the guild report is going to be like. Based on your feedback, improvements to the UI. Make it quicker to access the map, which cannot be easily opened due to notifications and important chat appearing on the right side. And then they go over the improvements. So I do like this system of being like, here's the request, here's what we're doing. They even provide us with a little bit of a video to show you how much faster Sakura is picking you up, which is cool. So I really appreciate things like this because it really does let you know what they have heard from you and how specifically they are addressing it. So then you can say, oh, actually, I do agree with this request, but that improvement doesn't really hit on fixing the issue that I have. And then the final tweet, which is very important and makes me very happy. Okay. Hunt Lagiacrus to obtain materials to forge the Lagiacrus Hunter armor sets as well as the feline Palico gear. Lagiacrus is less inclined to part with its rarest material compared to other monsters, but hunting a tempered version increases its drop rate. I am really happy to see this because all of the feedback that I'm seeing and the changes they're making, I'm like, yeah, that's good. However, one of my biggest points of feedback is that it's too easy to get everything. So they spend all this time putting out a banger monster. I hunt them twice and I have everything I could ever want from them. I really don't like that. I want to go, God damn it, give me your stupid gem. I want to be saying that for, I mean, If you're asking me, it'll take me at least a day of hunting a monster, but I understand that's a little extreme. But I'm so glad to see that because I haven't seen that point of feedback touched on yet. But this is very much so letting us know that they see what we're saying about how easy we are getting things and they are changing it with monsters they're adding. They also say the same thing for Seregios. So Seregios is the same thing. It's going to be harder to get the material to drop. So that's really important. It's really, really, really important. Because again, I keep saying it, but I'll bring up the armor so you can look at it. Having drop rates be so forgiving takes away so much of the game. One, you're having to play less to get what you want. Two, you don't have to interact with hunter's notes at all or look up how to make your chances better for getting the thing. You don't have to worry about breaking the head and breaking the back and all of that stuff because you're going to get it anyway. So who freaking cares? It slims down so much of the game by making that change. So this makes me really happy. Overall, I am feeling super happy about what they're doing. It seems very clear to me that they are seeing the feedback that we have and they are actively working on fixing those things. So I'm very happy. We'll see what this extra difficulty ends up being that gives us talismans. Just don't swing too far in the other way, okay? Don't make the monster one-shot me with literally everything they do. Okay? Give us some more health, a little bit more damage, and I'll be feeling pretty good. Let me know what you think about it. I'd love to know. I'm excited, personally.